Hello and welcome. I'm Exolite and this is my channel. And my son's in the background playing a game. In case you heard that. Hello Rob.
Hello, Tracy. I wondered if you was going to do it today, but you didn't. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey Rob.
Hey, Tracy.
How are you today?
I'm absolutely brilliant.
Are you?
Full of the joys of spring, even though it's summer.
It doesn't feel like summer to me yet.
No.
I don't know why. Because I think March lasted for a couple of months and then I was catapulted into June. And now June feels like it's dragging along
Yeah, it does a bit,
so
doesn't it? Yeah. It does.
slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a very strange, weird year. I don't know if you've
It's,
noticed.
I think we cover that every week when we do this.
Because it gets stranger and stranger.
Yeah,
It's just
yes, it
every week
does.
there's something new that's stranger.
Mm, yeah.
Um, what are we talking about today, Rob?
We are talking about the Appalachian Mountains cryptids, the weird and wonderful supposed creatures that live in the huge expanse of the Appalachian Mountains in eastern um, America, East Coast, or
Yes.
not East Coast, is it? But you get my drift.
And not just the people that live there who are a breed of their own. Some of them are blue. Have you ever heard about that? The blue people? Or are
Yes, I
they
have
green?
actually.
Are they blue?
Well, I think that they were blue in
Yeah.
America. We had the green ones in the
Oh,
UK.
because they had so much um well I'm just inbreeding that they became blue, which is odd. An odd side effect of that, but whatever. Anyway, um if you are not subscribed and you would like to be, please do so. If you would, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your ex-husband. I don't care. Um, Anybody you want. And if you'd like to be notified of my content when it goes live, please click that bell. Also, Rob and I are trying to raise money. Our cans are out, and we would like to take a trip to the East Coast and go to all the scary things and film that for you guys.
Hang on,
Which,
Chase. I've got a sound effect.
yes, that's what we need. Change. And we would like to go to all the scary things and go live at the scary places and take you guys along. So if you would please, on my page, the page of my channel's homepage, there's a link to PayPal. You can easily donate through that. I will also put the link down below in a pinned comment. And also, I have some new
Merch.
merch that is ready to be worn by all the Exolite family so we can spot each other out in public. Maybe pretend like we don't know each other then.
So we can avoid each other.
Yeah, because we're all a little bit strange. You feel free to come up to me though, and tell me all your weird stories. And yeah, I'm an introvert, so if I see you in public, I'll probably be like, oh my god, I have to go back in the house. Which
if she runs off, it's nothing personal.
it's really not. It's really not. I'm just an introvert. So we probably, if you guys are as well, we probably never will see each other in public. I'll be wearing a mask. All right, Rob, are you ready to get started?
I most certainly am.
Okay, so What is the first cryptid we're going to be talking about?
One of my favourites,
Yes, it is.
Bigfoot.
Oh, yawn.
Imagine you're deep in the woods when you spot a sudden movement through the trees. The animal or whatever it is large, covered in dark fur. Is it a bear? You stand frozen in place, eyes locked on the shadowy spot in the woods, waiting for the animal to move. Your heart's pounding. Your heart's pounding in your chest, and you realise jarringly that the sounds of the forest have died. On the ground, there's an imprint, like a human foot but much larger, nearly 2 foot long and 8 inches wide. Suddenly, you're certain of what you saw, and it definitely wasn't a black bear. Known around the world as Sasquatch, Yeti, and locally as wood booger, wood booger,
Woodburger.
and a boujon.
Boujon.
Bigfoot is an ape-like creature that it conceals itself in the dark forest, leaving behind footprints so large they could not be made by any man. Now, the legends of Bigfoot go
You know what they
back.
say about big feet, right?
Yeah, big socks.
Yep. I was gonna say big shoes. Yeah.
You have to drag it into the gutter, don't you? Every time.
I know, I can't help it. Deep down, I'm a 14-year-old boy. Just leave it, Rob. Just don't even start.
Right. If you noticed, everybody that's listening, when Tracy's doing hers, I'm very quiet and polite, and I listen intently at what she's saying. And then when I do my bit, it's like a free-for-all.
This is by the way, if we're counting, and I am, this is the third time Rob that has told me this week that he thinks I talk too much. It's all right. I can handle it.
Anyway, going back to Bigfoot. You don't talk too much. You've talked just about enough. Talk. Oh, God, that's worse. Oh, I don't believe we just said that. See, now she's doing what all women do. She's not speaking at all now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it okay? Go ahead, you talk, sir.
Oh, the tale of Bigfoot had been traced back to the European wild man, a mythical figure that had hair all over his body, lived like a beast. And it goes back to the 2nd century BC. Stories of Bigfoot abound in Native American oral tradition. The unexplained ape has been studied by scientists and scrutinized on the internet. Jane Goodall, if you remember who she was a lady that went to wherever it was, Africa, and worked with the gorillas. They made a film called Gorillas in the Mist. I think Sigourney Weaver played her in the film. She even weighed in with the Bigfoot existence, telling reporters that she wants to believe that Bigfoot is real. Have you seen that film, Tracy?
Long time ago, yeah.
It's a good film, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Okay. So have you got anything else to add?
Nope. Even if I did remember, I probably wouldn't tell you about it. So
we're doing a podcast here. It's like not very good listening, is it? No one speaking.
Okay. I actually do not remember if I liked it or not.
Oh, okay. You can speak now.
Oh, are you done?
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about Bigfoot with you, but obviously you don't want to speak to me, so it's really difficult to have a one-sided conversation, especially when you do it.
I know you've told me that twice this week. It is a little bit like we are brother and sister. So anyway, um, I am personally sick and tired of Bigfoot.
Why?
I'm so tired of Bigfoot. I'm tired of Bigfoot. I know you love Bigfoot.
Do you think
I
he's real?
I don't care. I I think that's probably what's coming out in July.
Bigfoot.
I think in July we're gonna be told that Bigfoot's real.
Yeah.
Every month is something new that has to do with paranormal stuff. So I think that's what's next.
And no one will listen. No one will bat an eyelid.
Nobody will give a shit. You're like, okay, but does my mask match my outfit? Um, I I I actually bought I actually bought a mask that would match outfits. So whatever. Okay, what am I going to talk about?
You're going to talk about the Brown Mountain Lights, I think.
I'm going to talk about the Brown Mountain Lights.
One of my favourites.
I'd never heard of it before. You told me about them.
I think I should move to the Appalachians, me.
Okay. You might fit in real well. Okay. Here we go. In the dark skies above Brown Mountain, North Carolina, eerie ghost lights have been spotted in the night sky for over a century. Oops, let me turn my phone off. To many eyewitnesses, the lights appear as glowing orbs that hover in the sky above the mountain before suddenly disappearing or soundlessly exploding. The first reported sighting of the Brown Mountain Lights was in 1913 by a fisherman who claimed to see, which is not true, by the way, because Native Americans claimed that they saw them. So just to clear that up. Was by a fisherman who claimed to see odd red lights dancing above the horizon. Oh, I see. They call it the brown. Oh, geez. I am an idiot. For some reason, I thought it meant the Brown Mountain Lights. Get a map. I can hear somebody right now. Just typing it out. Get a map. It's the Brown Mountain Lights. Rob, are you there? Rob?
Yes, I am. I was just doing something without disturbing you.
Anyway, where are we going? See odd red lights dancing above the horizon. Sightings continued, and in 1922, the U.S. Geological Society investigated. They determined that the Brown Mountain Lights were really just headlights of cars or passing trains. Yes, oftentimes I see the headlights of cars go into the sky and explode. It happens all the time. But a major flood in 1968 changed that theory. Why? Because the raging waters washed out all the roads and bridges and took out the power for several weeks. And guess what? The Brown Mountain Lights were still spotted in the night sky. Old bluegrass songs claimed the lights are the ghost of a slave searching for his lost master. Could have gone without that.
Yeah.
Was that bluegrass? Or is that blues?
Bluegrass.
Anyway, an episode of The X-Files said that the lights are caused by UFOs. Shocking. Popular Native American folklore says that a bloody battle between the Cherokee and Catawba Indian tribes took place on that mountain, and many, many lives were lost. The lights, claim the legend, are the ghosts of grieving women still searching the mountainside for the bodies of their fallen warriors. Oh, that's a sad one. But Not every story of the Brown Mountain Lights is steeped in superstition. In July 2016, the Charlotte Observer reported that Forest Service officers had reported close-up encounters on the mountain with beach ball-sized orbs that floated by and then vanished. See, it's coming. By July 2020, we're going to see video of this. And in August 2016, local TV station WLOS reported that scientists from Appalachian State University believed to have captured images of the Brown Mountain Lights on 2 digital video cameras, though scientists have not been able to determine what causes the lights. Ball lightning and naturally occurring mountain gases, it's always the gases, are 2 widely accepted theories. Okay, okay, so you're sitting there, and this beach ball-sized ball of light floats past you, and you're supposed to say, oh, there's the gases. If you want to find out for yourself, the best time to see the Brown Mountain Lights is in September through early November. The lights can be observed on the Blue Ridge Parkway at the Brown Mountain Light Overlook. So, if you want to go see those, we should. I'd like to go be there and look at those. I'd like to see something.
There's a documentary about it. It's really, really interesting. And you do see the what the scientists are filming. These lights, some of these lights are floating through the air. They couldn't have been a car or a
train.
A train
floating through the air.
Floating. It's it's not Father Christmas.
Right.
It's.
This is what makes me mad. Here's what makes me mad. Scientists see them, but don't have the balls to say, it could be something supernatural, because they don't have an explanation. So they go gases. Okay, swamp gases. Now there's mountain gases. I lived at the bottom of a mountain for almost my entire life, in the woods, to be exact. Never saw big beach ball sized balls of lights coming from gases of what's the gas coming from? I just really get tired of scientists. They just won't, because they're afraid they'll be the laughing stock of the scientific community if they say, you know what, it could be something paranormal. But I mean, grow a set, for God's sakes. Am I in a bad mood today?
Yeah. You.
But don't you get tired of it? Like, scientists can register, paranormal heat movement in a room or cold bursts in a room, and or see something that they can't explain.
Well,
but because they're scientists, their brains won't let go of there must be a rational explanation, and therefore they just say, swamp gas.
But the thing is, Chase, this is our 3rd podcast on the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, we haven't talked about, or I haven't read in any of my research that there's any swamps there.
Well, yes.
So.
Well, yeah. Well.
So what is this swamp gas? What is it made of?
Well, it said, hold on, I'm gonna choke. Sorry. Some scientists just put a needle in a voodoo doll. But this said mountain gases. I've never in my life heard mountain gases. Yeah. Rob, it's just how they It's just an excuse for everything. Mountain gases. Mountain gases?
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
agree. It's annoying.
Ball lightning. I've seen ball lightning before.
Have you?
Not only have I seen ball lightning, but I've seen sheet lightning lay about a foot off the ground in Arizona. About a foot off the ground. It just was laying there like a sheet of, well, lightning. And then there would be balls of lightning that would kind of float off of it during the middle of a bad storm. I've never seen it again since, but that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Not a fan. Okay.
Right. Calm down.
What?
Calm down.
You've never had a female in your life tell you that the last thing you tell a female to do is calm down?
Apparently not.
Well, today's your lucky day.
I think we need to go for counselling, me and you.
Couples counseling. Yeah. I'll bring my husband.
I'll bring mine. Oh, sorry, I haven't got one.
He can share my husband. He's going to come out here any second now and go, you two, get in a corner. How are we gonna survive a road trip? And I'll be like, and then mysteriously Rob disappeared. That's the craziest thing. Okay, what are you gonna do, Rob?
I'm gonna do another one of your favorites, the Mothman.
Yeah, I don't like the Mothman.
Dun, dun, dun. It's funny actually because last night about 10 o'clock, I was taking my little doggy for a walk, and it's dark by then. And we live quite in the country here, so we call it the lane, and it's got street lights along it, but it's really overgrown. And I was taking my dog through the lane, and I saw and I've not seen one in flight, an owl, and it always reminds me of the Mothman of an owl for some reason. But this owl was bloody huge, and it scared the whatever's out of me. But
yeah, I think I've told the story, but my husband and I, when we were dating, we were taking a drive through I lived in Washington, so there's a lot of woods. I don't know where we had gone, but it was some sort of an overlook thing. I think it was by a river. But anyway, the point of the story was an owl came out his truck's windshield, and its wingspan blocked the entire view out of the truck of the windshield. It was huge. And that's kind of what I think maybe when people think they see the Mothman, I think that it is likely that what they're seeing is a ginormous owl.
Because some of these owls can get big, can't they?
Yeah, and they're not nice.
No, they're not.
I mean, they can kill you. They can scalp you. And they can... It's so funny because... Not funny, haha. But, we have a lot of owls around here. I live by a creek, and there's some huge owls that they just put a warning up in this area where I live that they're taking small dogs when their owners are walking them, so don't walk them over there.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, can you even imagine? No. What are we talking about that for? I don't know.
Because I was telling you about taking my dog for a walk last night.
Mothman.
Are you ready? Mothman.
I'm ready.
Sorry. Okay. Way back in 1966, year that England won the World Cup for the one and only time, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, located at the confluence, I don't know what that means, of the Ohio and Kanawha rivers was a
So where they
sleepy.
meet?
Must be, yeah. Never heard it described like that. Was a sleepy town of a couple of thousand people, but it was rocked by an unidentified visitor on November the 12th, 1966, when gravediggers at a cemetery in Clarendon, West Virginia, about 80 miles from Point Pleasant, claimed to see a man with wings lift off from a tree and fly over their heads. 3 days later, two young couples out driving together, near abandoned World War II TNT plant about 5 miles north of Point Pleasant, saw a large flying man with a 10-foot wingspan and eyes that glowed red. He tried to flee the unidentified animal. Thought it was a man.
Yeah.
Speeding down the road at reportedly 100 miles an hour, but the creature followed them back to Point Pleasant city limits. They were so spooked by their experience that they went directly to the police. Newspaper dubbed the creature the Mothman. National press picked up the story, and the Mothman became a sensation. Now, I think we talked about people who, some of our regulars know that I think Tracy's in the same mindset as well, that the Mothman is the inspiration for Jeepers Creepers.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm just
That's
getting a drink,
nice.
everyone. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Anyway,
over the following week,
no, is that all you were going to say about Jeepers Creepers?
I thought that the last one was Jeepers Creepers 3 was horrible.
No, I mean, is that it doesn't matter. I just meant, is that just what you wanted to point out, was that we think that it was that it's the inspiration for Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that the third film was rubbish. Jeepers Creepers.
Where'd you get those peepers?
The girls hate when I sing that song to them.
Do they?
Yeah, when I'm flying around the room as well, they hate it.
They hate that part? Oddly enough, my kids are the same.
Kids say you can't, what's wrong with them these days?
I have no idea.
Over the following week, there were at least 8 more reported sightings in and around Point Pleasant of a man-like bird with large wings.
That's not pleasant.
No, it's not. It's to the point that it's not pleasant.
No, exactly.
One such account came from volunteer firefighter Captain Paul Yoder and Benjamin Enochs, according to the Gettysburg Times. Oh, is that where Gettysburg is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that. So what state is Gettysburg in, please, Tracy? I'm looking at my map now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, somebody's going to tell me to buy a map.
North Carolina?
Oh,
no. Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware.
Hold on, I can't bring it to the forefront of my brain.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's Pennsylvania, isn't it?
That's it. Thank you. Yes.
According to the Gettysburg Times, Yoder and Enochs claimed to have seen a very large bird with red eyes. Others refuted the sightings, believing the residents of Point Pleasant were actually seeing a sandhill crane that had a crane like the bird.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of a fixed crane that lifts things. Had wandered out of its normal migration route. There were
Hmm.
hundreds of eyewitnesses, says Jeff Wormsley, owner of say that when you're drunk, owner of the Point Pleasant Mothman Museum. Born and raised in town, Wormsley was only 5 years old when the Mothman showed up and began to terrorize his neighbors. Over the following years, the oddities continued. Reports of UFOs and suspicious men in black began streaming into the Point Pleasant authorities, and the Mothman sightings continued. Then, 10 days before Christmas in 1967, tragedy struck when the I remember this bit, when the silver bridge that connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis or something, Ohio, was teeming with rush hour traffic. The bridge collapsed, killing 46 people reportedly. Some claim to have seen the Mothman at the bridge shortly before its collapse and believe its presence was the harbinger of doom. The fact that the UFO sightings, Men in Black presence, and the Silver Bridge disaster all happened during the Mothman sightings intrigued many people, says Wormsley. It's a fascinating turn of events for a small town like Point Pleasant. So, yeah, I think it's more of an urban legend than I wouldn't really put any credence behind it. I know you don't believe it, do you, Trace?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things that, like the boogeyman, and
I think that I think that there can be a little bit of mass hysteria sometimes. And, I think this is one of those things where somebody probably saw a owl or something. And then because it had so much attention and so much news and whatnot, then more people saw it. And I think some people do that so they can get their 15 minutes of fame. Other people see it just because it scares them to think, and then all of a sudden it becomes a real thing.
I think we've talked. I don't know if we actually talked about this in podcasts. I think we have, or we've talked about it because we talk all the time. I think it was something that we talked about off air, and we were maybe going to do a podcast about it. But things like Bloody Mary and the Slender Man and things like that.
Yeah, you did a
video. Yeah.
Video, yeah.
For people that haven't heard that, why? We were talking about an urban legend like Mothman, like Slenderman, like, I don't know, Bloody Mary, Candyman. If enough people believe in this phenomena, could we actually will it into existence and it become a real thing? I mean, it's going to take a huge leap of faith, really, to sort of get your mindset behind that. But, you never know. You never know.
Well, I think that, personally, psychologically speaking, I think that if somebody tells you that they're casting a curse on you, for instance.
Yeah.
If now something bad happens to you tomorrow, then you're going to give credence to the fact that she said, or he said, whatever, that they were casting a spell on you, which then to you actually makes it a real thing. And you're going to believe that this voodoo curse was real. Or if somebody says, that they're reading your palms and you're going to come into some money, and then a family member dies and you get an inheritance, you're going to be thinking that that was real, that, palm reading is real. So I think that you can either way give it credit when maybe credit really isn't due. It just was a coincidence. And then to you, it becomes real, especially.
Yeah, it's funny.
I don't go into voodoo shops because I know they believe it's real, and if they believe it's real, then I'm just gonna let them believe it's real and really not push my luck.
Well, I'm watching again. It's funny you should mention voodoo. I'm watching the third series of. I've watched them from the beginning again. The American Horror Story. And the third series,
Oh,
if you remember, was about the witches in New Orleans.
that was the very first season I ever watched, and I went back and watched the other ones, but I liked it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm watching that again.
Oh, I love to watch that one, just particularly because I can say I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. I loved it. I loved that. I really liked that. That was my favorite season. I think.
I can't think what her name is. The black lady that plays.
Yeah. Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yeah, I think she's brilliant.
Oh my gosh,
Really,
yes.
Yeah, I'll watch anything with her.
So beautiful.
Yeah, she's very, very beautiful lady. But yeah, she's a really good actress as well.
I was going to say she's one of those people who you don't, like we were talking during some other podcasts, like Johnny Depp to me is the same. Well, I guess maybe he's not the best example. He can play different characters, but Keanu Reeves, for instance, to me, Keanu Reeves is kind of always the same. I just see Keanu Reeves. I don't feel like he ever becomes, like you see his character, just not Keanu Reeves. There's several people like that. Like Robin Williams was like that. Which is fine. That's fine. But Angela Bassett, she takes on a character. You forget who she is. She becomes the character. Yeah. She's brilliant.
I wouldn't like to cross her.
No, right? Yeah.
I think probably come off second best there somehow.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Voodoo or not.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Moon-Eyed people.
I'd not heard of these traces before at all.
I hadn't either, so I'm glad. That is something I hadn't heard of before. According to the Cherokee legend, long ago, before the Cherokee moved to the Smokies, there was a race of small, bearded white men who lived in the mountains, according to author Julia Montgomery Street, whose tale of this mysterious race is displayed in the Cherokee County Historical Museum. The men, this is a quote, possessed all the land from the Little Tennessee River to Kentucky, with a line of fortification from one end of their domain to the other. The men who lived in rounded log cabins had large blue eyes and fair white skin, and were sun-blind during the day, emerging from their homes only at night to hunt, fish, wage war, and build their fortifications. Because they could only see in the dark, the Cherokee called them the Moon-Eyed people. Some people believe they were descendants of a small group of Welshmen who came to America long before the Spanish and settled in the Smoky Mountains around 1170. As the legend goes, the Moon-Eyed people eventually abandoned their home or were driven from it and traveled west, never to be seen again. Wanda Stalcup is the director of the Cherokee County Historical Museum in Murphy, North Carolina. The museum is home to a statue that was found at the confluence of the Valley and the Hiwassee Rivers in the early 1800s. The soapstone statue is 37 inches tall and weighs 300 pounds. Many believe it is a depiction of the Moon-Eyed People, which in Oregon they believe that there was the exact opposite of a Bigfoot population. That was people who were under 3 feet tall. I wonder. I mean, well, you can't move much farther west than going to Oregon. So I wonder if maybe they're combined somehow. Everyone has their own opinion about the statue, says Stalcup. The statue depicts twins, but they're short, like the Moon-Eyed People with little round, flat faces. Some believe that the statue represents the two rivers, and others believe it's a man and a woman. When the archaeologists came and looked at the statue, they said they'd never seen anything to compare to. One reason is because they are standing, not sitting or kneeling. They think it might even be pre-Cherokee, whether a small blue-eyed race of sun-blind white men once inhabited the Blue Ridge long before the Europeans are known to have discovered America remains unknown, but the legend continues to live on. Well, I feel like that feels like a real thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If there were, if there was men like that, Welshmen, then it is possible that they, were there. And like I said, they believe there was the first hobbits. They called them hobbits. There was a race like a hobbit in Oregon. Oh God, I would have loved that. I would love that, to be friends with the hobbitses. That's how weird I am. Anyway, I want this one to be true.
Well, they only come out at night. They can't see in the day.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like you.
No kidding.
Are you related?
Yeah. It's possible. My mother was born in Kentucky, so there you go. It's quite possible.
Oh, dear me.
I am a vampire. I've never denied it.
Oh, dear me. It would be nice if it was true, though.
Yeah, that's kind of a. I was gonna say I don't want to offend anybody. Who are you going to offend? You think they're listening to me, Tracy? No. I would like that there to be some kind of a cryptid that is adorable, rather than everything being scary and mean. I mean, they could wage war, but if they are 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall, it's not going to do a lot of good.
Yeah. Bite your ankles.
I would love that. Can't we have something, a cryptid that is adorable? Why does everything have to be scary, spooky, violent, and smells bad? We have a complete lack of imagination in this country and other countries. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Well, another famous one here that we talked about before, the Bell Witch haunting.
Yeah, and didn't you just talk about this last week?
I don't know, I might have done. So if I have, I apologise.
I feel like we were talking about hauntings. Yes, hauntings last week, and you did talk about Bell Witch.
Do you want me to talk about it today, or do you want me to leave it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The Bell Witch haunting. John and Lucy Bell were farmers who settled in Adams, Tennessee in around 1803. They lived peacefully on their land until 1817, when the family began to experience odd and unexplained occurrences in their home. They began hearing noises such as scratching, knocks on the walls, and chains being dragged across the floor, says Pat Fitzhugh, an author and historian who has written 2 books about the events that occurred on the Bell Farm. Over time, the noises became more and more intense and more frequent, and the 2 Bell daughters began complaining of something, trying to pull at their bed covers and pinch them while they were asleep. Just scroll up. For
You
over a
know,
year. Sorry, go on.
I have a question. It must have succeeded at some point, because otherwise, why would you say they're trying to pull up our bed covers and pinch us?
Yeah.
That sounds weird.
Mm.
So I feel like it must have happened, and then they feel like it continued to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
For over a year, the Bells remained silent about the strange events taking place in their home, worried about what members of their church might think. But harassment wouldn't stop. The harassment wouldn't stop, and John Bell finally confided in one of his neighbours about the strange incident in his home. His neighbour came over and experienced the same kind of disturbance. Before long, people all over the east and southeast knew about it, says Fitzhugh. People began to travel to the Bell Farm to experience the supernatural. See, even in the 1800s, people were still doing what they do today. You know, going to ghost hunt, basically.
Yeah.
It's not like a new thing.
Yeah.
People soon began to travel to the Bell Farm to experience the supernatural phenomena for themselves. Some came as curiosity seekers, and some came as skeptics trying to debunk what the Bells was experiencing. Over time, it seemed this thing, whatever it was, fed off the attention of the people's fears, says Fitzhugh. It eventually developed into whispering voices that within a year it could speak. People have written down and passed through the generations accounts of what the thing actually allegedly said, says Fitzhugh. It liked to argue. It liked to argue religion and make fun of people, except for Mrs. Bell. It stated its purpose was to kill John Bell. The poltergeist received the name Kate after it claimed to be a witch of a local lady named Kate Bates. When John Bell died on December the 20th, 1980. 1980?
Mm-mm.
That's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's got to be wrong. Maybe it was 1880.
Yeah.
I thought he'd lived a long time.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know, because hold on. 7 years later, John Bell died. Keep going. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
when John Bell died on December 20th, 1980. That's
it
doesn't
can't be
seem.
right.
No.
Kate took credit, insisting she had poisoned him because he was a bad man. After John's death, things began to return to normal for the Bell family until Betsy Bell, the Bell's youngest daughter, became engaged to a local man named Joshua Gardner. Kate revowed her scorn and disapproval about Betsy Bell's upcoming marriage, says Fitzhugh. She talked Betsy into breaking off the engagement with Joshua. A short time later, the poltergeist said she was going to leave, but promised to return in 7 years. 7 years later, Kate did return, visiting John Bell Jr., who was not living at the Bell Farm at the time. They allegedly talked for 3 nights about the past, the present, and the future, explains Fitzhugh. After that, the Bell Witch bid farewell and promised to return in 107 years. That would have been in 1935. Some said she would return, and some said she didn't, says Fitzhugh. The real story behind the tale of the Bell Witch has never been uncovered. Some thought it was an act of supernatural, says Fitzhugh. Skeptics accuse the Bell family of doing it by knowing how to act and use ventriloquism. Some thought they did it for money, but the Bell family never charged a cent to anyone staying over in their home. What do you reckon?
My personal opinion is, in the 1800s, supernatural stuff became very popular, and people who had money would do, seances and whatnot. And so I think it probably was something like that they were getting their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. It's so weird. I say this all the time. I am the biggest scepter. What? I am the biggest skeptic when it comes to these kinds of things. And having experienced my own experiences, I don't know why I'm such a skeptic, but so I do think there's a lot of people who lie and prey on people, and it's just not true.
Yeah, but the thing is, Chase, that's why we work so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're there to rein me in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe in anything.
Yeah. You believe in lots more things than I do.
And I need you there to just hold me in place, really. And say, Rob, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, sorry. sorry.
Oh, there goes my money. It's okay. I'm not going to get any money anyway. So if you'd like to donate, by the way, there's going to be a link on my page. And it's in the top right corner. It's right to PayPal. Any amount is highly, highly appreciated. Thanks, Rob, for that. That worked out really well. Yeah, some things I just look at. No, I try to look at all things like logically, and it was super popular back then. There was a lot of people who faked things, and Houdini spent a lot of his life trying to debunk these things because it became so popular, and made his promise. Remember that he would come back if it was true.
Yeah.
So I think they just probably took their 15 minutes of fame, and look, we're still talking about it. They got a lot longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's true.
I do like the name, though. I think the Bell Witch is I don't know, it's one of the better names of cryptids. Okay. The Flatwoods Monster. In the late days of summer 1952, two brothers named Edward and Fred May of Flatwoods, West Virginia, rushed home to tell their mother, Kathleen May, that they'd seen something unexplainable while playing football at the playground of the Flatwoods School. They'd witnessed a bright UFO streak across the sky and land on the property of a local farmer. Intrigued, May, her sons, and some other local boys headed out to the farm. It was nearly dusk when they saw an unidentified object in the woods. They saw an odd-shaped thing that appeared to be glowing red with smoke and steam coming out of it, said Andrew Smith, the executive director of the Braxton County CVB and curator of the Flatwoods Monster Museum. 17-year-old Eugene Lemon, a National Guardsman who also tagged along on the adventure, said that he saw a pulsing light and pointed his flashlight towards it, revealing a pair of bright eyes in a tree and a 10-foot monster with a blood-red face and a green body that seemed to glow. The monster then hissed and floated towards the group causing Lemon to scream and drop his flashlight. What are you doing?
Sorry? What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I can't get away with anything.
Yeah, no. Got ears like a bat. According to newspaper reports, several of the party fainted and vomited for several hours after
Sorry.
returning to town. Later, Mrs. May was quoted as saying that the monster looked worse than Frankenstein. First off, Frankenstein wasn't the monster. Frankenstein was the doctor who created the monster. Oh, my God. Anyway, the group turned and ran down the hill, immediately reporting what they saw to the local sheriff. An hour later, several men armed with shotguns returned to the scene with Lemon. They were met with a horrible smell, like I said, everything is, and according to local reports, saw slight heat waves in the air. In the dark, authorities didn't find much. What was found was gathered and sent to Washington, D.C., and never seen again. If that only happened, if we could only just do that. Let's send them to Washington, D.C., and they'll never be seen again. Smith says, what makes the Flatwoods Monster so interesting is that there weren't many UFO sightings back in the 50s. The Flatwoods incident was only the second or third of its kind, and probably the first with so many witnesses. It made national headlines. Today, the main road into town, there is a sign that reads, "Welcome to Flatwoods, home of the Green Monster." The UFO sighting, or whatever it was, is in the past but not forgotten. There's not a consensus on what happened in Flatwoods that evening, says Smith. You have your UFO true believers and skeptics who think it was a misidentified barn owl. Well, oftentimes barn owls are green with glowing bodies and red heads. You know, if I had to pick one, I'd say that the most commonly held thought is that the monster is a fun and interesting bit of folklore, says Smith. Having to decide whether it's real or fake takes all of the fun out of it. Doesn't sound like they had a lot of fun. Vomiting and all that, whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit a couple of highlights of some other ones that I found, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's okay with me.
Will I be talking too much for your taste?
No, Tracy, I love to hear your dulcet tones.
Somebody left a comment and said they would listen to me even if I was reading the ingredients on a mustard bottle. Which
I agree. I agree entirely with that compliment, and I think you've got
yes,
a beautiful
I know you
voice.
do. Yeah, I know you do. Except for when I'm actually talking. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple ones that are like really weird. Like, let's talk about the Snallygaster.
The what?
Yes, exactly. The Snallygaster is a mythical dragon-like beast said to inhabit the hills surrounding Washington and Frederick counties, Maryland. Here's the background. The area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s. Early accounts describe the community being terrorized by a monster called a Schnellergeist, meaning quick spirit in German. The earliest incarnations mixed the half-bird features of a siren with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. The Snallygaster was described as half reptile, half bird, with a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, occasionally with octopus-like tentacles. Man, they were just throwing everything at this. It swoops silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked the blood of its victims. Let's throw a vampire in there too. 7 pointy stars, which reputedly kept the Snallygaster at bay, can still be seen painted on. Okay, 7 pointed stars, which reputedly kept the Snallygaster at bay, can still be seen painted on local barns. That's cute. It's been suggested that the legend was resurrected in the 19th century to frighten freed slaves. Newspaper accounts through February and March of 1909 described encounters between local residents and a beast with enormous wings and a pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It was described as making screeches like a locomotive whistle. That's just pleasant. Ugh. Okay. A great deal of publicity surrounding the string of appearances, with the Smithsonian Institute even offered a reward for the hide of this thing. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considered postponing an African safari to personally hunt the beast. In 2008, author Patrick Boyton published a book about the history of the Snallygaster entitled Snallygaster, The Legend of Frederick County. The Snallygaster has one widely known enemy called the Deweyyo. The Deweyyo is reported to be a mammalian biped with features similar to a wolf. They were sitting around there just like, I don't know, what could we add here? Wolves, vampires, octopus, birds. But the stance of the stature of a human, a werewolf. The sightings of the Deweyyo are primarily reported in West Middletown, Maryland, but sightings have also been reported in Wolfsville. Well, that's a coincidence. Maryland. The Deweyyo and the Snallygaster have reportedly had vicious encounters dating back to early settlements of the Middleton Valley. Okay.
No.
What do you think about that? You think that's real?
No, I don't think that's real.
Yeah, I think that's, kind of weird. Now, there was something I wanted to, now hold on. There was another something I wanted to, okay, here we go. The Beaver Run Snow Gator. Are you ready?
I was born ready, Chase.
It won't rival the tail of the Loch Ness Monster, that's for sure. But a 5-foot alligator seen paddling around the waters of northern Westmoreland County's Beaver Run Reservoir has startled lookers. Why is that a crypto? It's 5 feet. It's an alligator. I say so. Welcome to my world.
Oh, excuse me.
But then they have things like the whirling Wimpus and the Wanderlight and the Wampus Beast and the Veggie Man and the Bushman, the Sheep Squatch. Now somebody knows how to say this, and I do too, but I for some reason can't think of it to save my life. The Quetzalcoatlus. It's like a Mayan word. Somebody knows this, and they think that is actually a pterodactyl. a real live current pterodactyl,
Yeah.
which would be cool. They have the devil monkeys, which is how I referred to my children when they were young.
Sounds like an indie band.
That'd be a good band.
The Devil Monkeys.
The devil monkeys. They
Introducing, for your pleasure,
the devil monkeys. And then they come out and they play like jazz music or ballroom dance music. That'd be funny as hell. Ballroom music. That would be awesome. The Appalachian chupacabra. Well, unfortunately, they have a Cumberland dragon. Hellhounds, which is not good. The wood booger, which I just found out tonight, is actually Sasquatch. So there you go. What do you think, Rob?
I think a lot of them are just made up for the sake of being made up. Personally.
Yeah. I think one person sees something, they, see it wrong, they tell people about it, and other people are scared, and then they see it, or they didn't want to be cool kids too. So they see it, and it just that's what turns into a legend.
Yeah. Chinese whispers.
Yeah, we call it the telephone game.
Telephone game.
Yeah. I think that most cryptids, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. If I ever get a chance to create a world, a strong possibility, I'm gonna make some monsters and some fairies.
Okay.
Come on, we need to. That's another thing. Can we just jazz this thing up a little bit? Come on, let's make some scary stuff. People are just bored sitting around their house and like, I know, octopus, steelbeak, sharp claws. Also, a wolf fights it, but it stands up like a man. Yes, let's go with it. Do you have anything to say, Rob?
I don't believe in a lot of, obviously Bigfoot. I think there's too much evidence out there to say that it indefinitely doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Mothman, I don't believe in. Is it the Moon-eyed children?
Yeah.
Moon-eyed people, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I think there's too many legends from around the world, whether it be from Ireland, leprechauns, and
right.
It's like Bigfoot in one respect, that you're getting reports coming from all over the world of these. I mean, it's like I watched a documentary on TV about two brothers that were convinced there were giants, and they'd all died out now. And we were talking like 10 to 12 foot tall, and they uncovered huge skulls and bones and leg bones the size of your body. Well,
in the Bible, they talk about giants.
Yep, they do. And
David and Goliath.
Yep. And it's like going. I mean, I don't want to keep going back onto science, but they need to start listening and looking, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Paying attention.
I think they're afraid they'll be laughing. Like I said, I think they're afraid they'll be laughing stocks.
Oh well, such is life, so they say.
We'll probably never get our wish for that. But What are we doing next week about the Appalachians?
Good question. They want something else, haven't they?
Yes, I think we're going to do UFOs,
UFOs, yeah, we're going to do UFOs.
which we just also happen to do right now.
And there's been a lot of overlap, hasn't there?
Yeah.
But that's fine. People will still enjoy it, I think.
Yeah. I kind of like doing these regional things.
Yeah, it's a lot better, isn't it?
Wait till we move down. We should move down into the New the Florida and the Everglades and all the weird things. I don't know if there's a lot of UFO sightings in New Orleans, though. That area, Louisiana. We'll have to look it up and see.
I mean, there's
If
a couple of places.
you guys can tell me.
There's a couple of places in the UK I'd like to focus on, like Cannock Chase, which has got cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, legends, and all other stuff like that. I'd like to do a podcast on.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we can really. I think sometimes when we do cover a lot of ground, not so much today because we've kept it to about 6 or 7. So I think sometimes you can quality over quantity over quality sometimes, and I think maybe it's better, like you said, when we can just concentrate on one area and what's going on in that place. I think that not that our other podcast, I don't like our other podcasts. I think now, because we've been doing it for such a long time, it's good to just home in on one place and just, pick the bones completely of that area. If that makes sense.
Because you have a 3-hour podcast, and we have had one, of cryptids that was all over the world.
Yeah.
And, that's long. And, maybe we'll see some cryptids if we get to go on our trip.
One podcast I would like to do, I mean, I'm saying this out for everyone to give us their comments or if they think it would be a good podcast. So I hope you don't mind, Chase. I would like to do a podcast on Area 51.
Well, what about it?
The whole conspiracy, cover-up, aliens, Roswell.
Okay.
No,
I think Joy did. No, I mean, I don't. That's fine with me. I think Joy did one when we first started. But I can't. Yeah, I think so. But that's been a couple of years, so a new one certainly would not hurt. I really have zero knowledge.
Do you know what would be good? What would be good, and I think people would like Area 51 is Nevada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be good to travel around the US, podcast-wise, and pick and do something for every state?
Actually, that's funny you should say that, because actually, upcoming in some videos, I'm going to be doing state by state most haunted places.
Oh.
And in each state of the country. So I'm going to start off with Washington and just move on over. Go Washington, Oregon, California, and then go back up and do Idaho and Utah and Nevada and that kind of stuff, and just kind of Wyoming and move over. And so maybe we could do a thing. Like if we do, like I'm starting it this week. I'm going to start doing the most haunted places in Washington. Do like, top 5 or something. And then travel around. And then maybe we can talk about sometime, do a podcast, talk about other things that had to do with them, like cryptids and UFO sightings. I mean, Washington, my God, just Washington alone, we can talk about serial killers, missing people, UFOs, cryptids up the yin yang, haunted things. There's a lot of Native American lore. I was really lucky to grow up in a state that had a lot of stuff and, experience some of those things myself. So I'm kind of excited to do a Washington one because, and then the world shook. All the serial killers, and several of them landed down in Washington State. All the weirdos. So, yeah, I would like to do something like that. Take a road trip. You and me get in a fake car. Let's make it something cool. And Ferrari Testarossa. You and me going on a road trip.
Yeah.
For fake. The real one is going to be
awesome.
New England. Yeah. That's going to be awesome. Rob's going to be a pile of tears. I'm going to be the brave one. You guys put money on me. We'll see who gets the most scaredest.
Is that a word? Scaredest.
Nope. Just made it up. Anyway, I feel like we just had about one of our podcast meetings, by the way, on a podcast.
So that's my fault.
So for you guys, that's what you can look forward to now that I've told you what I have in stock. In store, I should say. All right, well, leave your comments. If you want to tell me to buy a map, you don't have to.
If you've got any ideas, leave them in the comments about what you want us to do.
If you guys in your states have places that are well known for, hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, whatever you are interested in, let us know, and we can go do some homework. You can tell us specifically some spots that you would like us to delve into deep, and as Rob says, pick the bones, and that'd be fun. I like it when you guys get involved and give me story ideas. And
yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I had a comment saying that they're interested in hearing some more true paranormal ghost stories. So I'm going to be having some more of those coming up, where I will read. Hello, what is that?
What?
What is that noise you're doing?
I'm just putting a topic on my bottle.
Jeez. Let me know when you're done scraping the hell out of something.
I'm finished now. It's just putting the top back on the bottle. Sorry, Mum.
That was painful. Anyway, I don't know where I was, so fuck me. Oh, so I'm going to be doing retelling other people's true ghost stories. If you guys have had a ghost experience, tell me. You can write it down, send it to me. I'll tell the story. I'll give you total credit. I always do that. And that'd be fun. If you guys want to do that, I would really enjoy that. Yeah, get involved, please. I really like that our community likes to leave messages and be involved, and it's fun. And if you want to, you can buy an Exit Light shirt.
Oh, really good, actually.
Yeah, I have a new design, and it's not even just shirts. It's phone cases,
Hoodies.
coffee mugs, bodies,
Hoodies.
hoodies. Yeah, hoodies, bags, all kinds of stuff. So, guys, go take a look out the store, see if there's anything you want, and that would. If I saw somebody in public with an Exit Light merch, oh, you can get bumper stickers too. If I saw somebody with Exit Light merch, I kid you not, I will chase you down and probably start crying with gratitude. Ask Rob. I wouldn't I, Rob?
Yeah, you would, yeah. In a nice way.
Yes, it was a totally nice way. So if you want to do that, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna wear my Exit Light shirt, and if you see me in public, you chase me down. You don't have to cry. All right. Well, thank you for listening to us babble on and on. And if you'd like to give this video a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it. And if you would like to subscribe, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that as well. If you'd like to, tell other people about our channel.
Please share with everybody.
Yeah, that would be great. And if you want to be notified when my content goes up, go ahead and click that bell. And I'm here about my content goes up probably 3 or 4 times a week. We try to do one, sometimes 2 podcasts a week. And
sorry to interrupt you, Chase. We also have groups on Facebook, which you can check out, called Exit Light, which you'll be able to find all the podcasts on there as well. I always put them up on the group. So
Rob does an excellent job, a really great job of keeping up. And he also puts a lot of different content, scary stories, scary movies that are coming out, anything paranormal that you're interested in, Rob is also interested in, and posts so much information that you guys will get lost in it. I really highly recommend it that you go to the groups on Facebook. All right. Well, good morning, Rob.
Can I just say one last thing?
Of course.
Stay safe, guys.
Yeah.
Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones. This crazy time.
Yeah. Do. And thanks for coming back. Keep coming back. We appreciate it. We do.
Yeah.
All right. Good night. I'm going to say good night.
Good morning.
Bye.
Bye.